Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hope everybody's having a nice time. And yes, I'm nervous. My name is Cory B, as he stated. I am in a recovery program. I want to give a shout out to my home group, which is the Monday Night Men's at Southgate, USA. I want to give a shout out to my sponsor, Ricky Lynch, Daryl Chance Lumpkin. I want to give a shout out to my wonderful and beautiful wife of 38 years who hung in there with me and never gave up on me when I gave up on myself. Again, like I said, my name is Cory B. If you would care to join me in a serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. Okay, just to give you a little short story about me, I'm 66 years old. I started singing when I was 12 years old in the public and on stage and performing and things of that nature. And it was a beautiful, beautiful life for me. I had the prettiest girl in my neighborhood come and knock on my door and ask me to sing with her. And when she came to knock on my door, I opened the door and I said, just hold on 1 minute. And I went to go get my sister and she said, no, I want to see you. I said, oh, really? And she said, yeah, they attended an all-girls school called Hope and Dominican at the time. And they were having a talent show and she knew I sang and she asked me to sing with her group, all-girl group called the Lovelets. They added me and became Cory and the Lovelets at 12 years old. I had hit the big stage. So, like I say, it was a beautiful thing. My parents divorced when I was 10 years old, which threw me for a loop. Starting then, I was in search of trying to find myself. I was the oldest of 3 boys. My baby brother was 6 months old when my dad left. So that became a big burden for me because my mother decided to go get another job. So she was working 2 full-time jobs, and that made me a full-time big brother with a lot of responsibilities as a 10 and 11-year-old. But I was a late bloomer when it came to alcohol and drugs. I was an athlete, I sang, so I didn't really indulge much at a young age. I had friends that did so, and they would invite me to, and I would always turn them down. It was never appealing to me because I was focused on my little brothers and just doing the right thing at that time. But then later on in life, like I say, a late bloomer in my 20s, actually 30s, in 1990, I crossed over that line. I started as a young adult at 21 years old, working in my uncle's bar, wrong place for an alcoholic, but I didn't know I was at the time. And later on in life, I ended up getting married in 1985, and so I took on the responsibility of being a husband and a father, and just happened to get with the wrong people at the wrong time and crossed over that invisible line of addiction. And I knew I didn't really want that. You know, I went home and I confessed that to my wife. And she was 8 months pregnant at the time. And my wife had an anxiety attack. She just couldn't believe it. I had to end up rushing her to the hospital in false labor and things of that nature. So, long story short, it took me 27 years to finally, surrender and, let go and let God, because I couldn't do it myself. I was always that kid that was the leader of any group that I hung with. I was always that leader with my brothers, with my friends, always trying to do the right thing. And so a lot of my friends and a lot of my family just really couldn't understand it when I confessed that I was addicted to drugs and alcohol, and I really needed some help. But again, that was 1990. I didn't get sober and clean from drugs until 2017, October 24th. So I've suffered quite a bit of hardships going through that. And again, like I say, I've carried my wife and my family through some hardship, some hard times, and my wife never gave up on me. I would question her, why was she even still here? And she would just tell me, because I knew that's not the man you are. And she believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. I've been in some serious situations to the point of almost death. In my left eye right now, I currently have 3 titanium plates which holds my eye in place because I was jumped and pistol whooped by a drug dealer. And that wasn't enough at that time for me to quit. You know, my wife had to come home and find me passed out in my truck in the driveway and rush me to the hospital, and they had to literally put my eye back in place, which 7 bones on your eye socket will hold your eye in place. 4 of them were shattered, and my eye was literally hanging out of my head. But that wasn't enough. You know, so I always tell people, in God's time, if you surrender, the most important thing I can tell you is give yourself a chance, because there is a better life out here. You're looking at it right now. Because with all the hardships and things that I've been through, God and the program of recovery literally restored me, redeemed me, and placed me back into my purpose. Like I say, I went full circle. I'm 66. I started doing this at 12 years old. And I took that big detour. And with the program of recovery and God, I went full circle. And this is the best I've ever lived in my life. I'm an owner of 2 homes. You know, I have a beautiful wife, like I say, of 38 years. I don't know how she did that. Yeah, but I thank God every day for my wonderful wife, and she was nothing but heaven sent. In the process of when I met my wife in 1983, it was love at first sight. On my side, I wouldn't say her side, because I literally walked in a store where she was working at with a friend of mine, and I told him right then, and I hadn't spoke a word to her. I seen her from across the room, and I told my friend, and he don't mind me using his name, Ted Parker. I told him, I said, hey, Ted, you see that young lady over there behind the register? I'm going to make her my wife. 2 years later, we walked down the aisle, introducing to you Mr. and Mrs. Cory B. Smith. And again, like I say, I could stand here and give you a story and write a book all night, but for anybody that's out there that's struggling or recovering and trying to get their life in order, get you a home group, get you a sponsor, get you a support group with some men, if you're a man, and women, if you're a woman, and give yourself a chance, because, I mean, there's so much better to life than the way we lived. You know, the way I live, let me make I statements, because I've literally sat in houses where when I finally left up out of there, I had Dairyman's printed on the back of my behind because I had sat on that milk crate so long. And the shame part about it was I had a beautiful wife and a beautiful family and a beautiful home to go to, but I chose to sit in those places with people that would have cut my head off if they had a chance. You know, so again, I don't want to carry too long, but give yourself a chance. God is a redeemer, and recovery works. Thank you, and join me in the Lord's Prayer. Whose Father? Our Father, whom art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Thank you.